President Trump threatened to cancel his planned meeting later this month with Chinese President Xi Jinping and to impose massive new tariffs over Beijing's new export controls. Some very strange things are happening in China, Trump wrote in a lengthy social media statement. They are becoming very hostile and sending letters to countries throughout the world that they want to impose export controls on each and every element of production having to do with rare earths and virtually anything else they can think of, even if it's not manufactured in China. Trump added, "Our relationship with China over the past 6 months has been a very good one, thereby making this move on trade an even more surprising one. I have always felt that they've been lying in wait, and now, as usual, I have been proven right. There is no way that China should be allowed to hold the world captive. But that seems to have been their plan for quite some time, starting with the magnets and other elements that they have quietly amassed into somewhat of a monopoly position. A rather sinister and hostile move, to say the least," Trump wrote. But the U.S. has monopoly positions also much stronger and more far-reaching than China's. I have just not chosen to use them. There was never a reason for me to do so. Until now. The letter they sent is many pages long and details with great specificity each and every element that they want to withhold from other nations. Things that were routine are no longer routine at all. I have not spoken to President Xi because there was no reason to do so. This was a real surprise, not only to me, but to all the leaders of the free world. I was to meet President Xi in 2 weeks at APEC in South Korea, but now there seems to be no reason to do so. Trump concluded, dependent on what China says about the hostile order that they have just put out, I will be forced as President of the United States of America to financially counter their move. For every element that they have been able to monopolize, we have too. I never thought it would come to this, but perhaps, as with all things, the time has come. One of the policies that we are calculating at this moment is a massive increase of tariffs on Chinese products coming into the United States of America. There are many other countermeasures that are, likewise, under serious consideration.
The United States really has to. Our meeting last night was absolutely.
现在开始。首先，请习近平主。
We agreed not to replicate failed approaches.
投资环境、开放市场等问题。我们重申，坚定致力于实现半岛无核化。
We will be going back, I'm sure, discussions after, but the relationship is very special, the relationship that I have with President Xi.
这体现了我们的个人友谊。
发展。总统先生多次表示，希望搞好中美关系，世界上最重要的双边关系之一。回顾中美建交以来的40年，国际形势和两国关系都发生了巨大加征新关税，希望中方能从美国增加进口。美方愿同中方达成彼此都可接受的贸易协议，这将具有历史意义。美方希望通过协商妥善解决两国贸易平衡，为两国企业提供公正待遇。美方将不再对中国出口产品。
U.S. President Donald Trump said he will not drop tariffs on China to get Beijing to come to the negotiating table. The president discussed his stance on the tariffs, which he defended in an interview with NBC's Meet the Press, recorded Friday, May 2nd, From his Mar-a-Lago estate, Trump said that China said they want to talk. Look, China, and I don't like this. I'm not happy about this. China's getting killed right now, Trump told host Kristen Welker. They're getting absolutely destroyed. Their factories are closing. Their unemployment is going through the roof. I'm not looking to do that to China now. At the same time, I'm not looking to have China make hundreds of billions of dollars and build more ships and more army tanks and more airplanes. On being asked if Trump is not dropping the tariffs against China to get them to the negotiating table, Trump responded, "No. At some point, I'm going to lower them because otherwise you could never do business with them," Trump added later. And they want to do business very much like their economy is really doing badly. Their economy is collapsing. U.S. President Donald Trump on Sunday, May 4th, said the U.S. was meeting with many countries, including China, on trade deals, and his main priority with China was to secure a fair trade deal. Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One that he had no plans to speak with Chinese President Xi Jinping this week. But U.S. officials were speaking with Chinese officials about different things. Trump repeated his claim that China had been ripping us off for many years on global trade, adding that former President Richard Nixon's move to reach out and establish relations with China was the worst thing he ever did.
Any plans to speak with President Xi this week?
No plans to speak to him, but China and our people are talking about different things. Yeah.
Sir,
Every country, almost without fail, friend and foe, has been ripping us off for years. So we're meeting with almost all of them, including China. And at the end, I'm setting the deal. They keep saying, when are you going to, this is not like a big deal that's going to be signed. In some cases we'll sign, but we don't have to have signed. I'm going to be setting the deal. I'll be setting a tariff. Now we're not dealing with China at all because the tariff's so high that they basically can't deal. And because of that, we're saving billions of dollars, Well, I want a fair deal with China, but China's been ripping us off for many years, so maybe something should be thought about, a little bit of retribution. China's been ripping us off for many years, ever since they started. To me, I think it was the worst thing that Richard Nixon ever did. And it was Nixon, he's the one that got it started. Thank you very much, everybody.
What's your next